I've studied the military from many different angles. So I think that sort of situates me as a personal human being in this whole sense of, my connection, my past connection, my personal experience with the military, and then coming to an understanding of the military through time and what it is today as well. We all tell our stories in hindsight. I think the most difficult, and that could be for people like myself that survived and continued on in the military, is the long enduring effects of that, living through that time period constantly. I'm not going to say it's worse or better or easier or whatever on that front. Some people got interrogated, lost their jobs, and they're dealing with that. And that is a huge, huge, not just a loss, but everything that was done to them is totally abhorrent. But the people that continued on, some of them were directly investigated, survived, and continued on. I didn't get directly investigated, but I knew the investigations were happening. And that was a slow learning process, but everybody went through the same thing. Your friends disappeared. I can't imagine, it's difficult being or trying to come to grips with your identity as attracted to the same sex. But and everybody even today can still relate to that. But when your friends around you just disappear from your life, I don't think that exists or existed for many people even back then. And I think that overall sense that was taken away from you, like the job, the discrimination, the job was taken away, that opportunity was taken away from other people. The part that was taken away from me, and I'll speak from my own personal experience to drive that point or tell you that particular history, is that's what was taken away from me. My ability that these friends, these people, whether they were close friends or people that I had just got to know in a day or two, just disappeared, gone from your life, and you started to understand why. The culture, I hope, maybe I can say I can hope will change. It has changed. They're no longer getting rid of us overtly. But I'm not so sure that every LGBTQ military service person would recommend to another young 18 or 19-year-old LGBTQ person to join the military. I'm not sure they would all say that it's an opening and welcoming place. I'll just put it that way. I think that's our generalized hope of the future to deal with, but it's a very traditional and longstanding epitome of patriarchal hypermasculinity. They have to other in order to kill. Othering means that you have to create an enemy. And we're not that long ago where LGBTQ and women were the enemy as well. They're still doing it. Oh, don't be so gay. What does that say to a person? Don't be so gay. It includes all of the LGBTQ acronyms. If a soldier is told, don't be so gay, that's the enemy. So that's the insidious parts of it that we don't realize or we don't think about. That's not changed enough. I'll say enough with the hopes that it's not, some of it's gone. Overtly, some of it's gone, but even today, if you look at any military, in order to, and that's the national security or the agenda or the focus or the mandate of the military, if you want to be crude, it's to kill and protect the nation. To kill. We're all trained, we're work trained, quote unquote killers. Doctors, even military doctors, well, they supposedly have this agenda. Well, I was trained for I don't know how many thousands of dollars to fix airplanes and load bombs on them. If they would have wanted me to go out and ordered me to kill, that was an order that they could do. And I was supposedly a trained soldier. And they could tell soldiers what to do, all soldiers. So I think we should not forget the bottom sort of agenda, the bottom mission that controls the whole functioning of the military, and how, Gary Kismet, national security, we're soldiers, we're there to protect the country, and how that then can cover up the agendas and atrocities that can get committed along the way. And atrocities meaning, the discrimination, whether it happens to the enemy out there, or whether it happens to the enemy within, because we were the enemy within. We were the enemy within the military, and in some cases, the enemy within the soldier, meaning me as a soldier. The enemy within me was being a homosexual, not trustable. So that's, can you trust yourself? So I'm just reflecting back and forth with some of those ideas on that front. And I think the message for me is, yes, some people lost their jobs, and that was horrendous. But there's also people that survive, carry on, but they suffer deeply as well. And those people are still walking around. And many of those people will never tell their story, or never want to go back and tell their story. And they'll feel like they're lucky, but I think they're carrying the deep scars of what happened, despite the fact that we can still think, oh, those were the lucky ones. I don't think they were that lucky. I think they survived, they learned how to get through it and move on, just like we all do. Humans are usually incredibly good at moving on. And, the loss of life as well. There was people that lost their lives in this as well. I interviewed a gentleman older than myself. He never told anybody. He just died about a year ago. He's dead. He knew that we'd gotten the apology. He had applied to get the to be part of the purge compensation, but would have never been paid out to him because he's dead. So it's those sense of loss. Loss, and it's, it's not just me, it's, these people. This extreme sense of, the waste that was, or the hurt that was imposed, the discrimination, the causing of hurt, the stressors and all that, and then the damage that it left for these people. Would they still be here today? They probably would. And I hope that people understand that and know that the purge is much deeper than we realize. The extensiveness to what it caused in people's lives is really deep. So I guess that's sort of my message.